Renault will inject some much needed affordable fun into the developing market for electric vehicles in March 2012 with this. It's a two-seater city car and it's called the Twizy. Now this one is a prototype, so it's not finished, but it's close enough to the production car to give us an idea of what to expect. A top speed of 47 miles an hour doesn't promise very much, but it's amazing how much fun this Twizy is. It's kind of like an anti-scooter. So in a scooter, you twist the throttle, you get lots of noise, lots of transmission slip, you don't really go anywhere. Whereas in the Twizy, you get 42 pounds-foot of torque straight away. And that makes this car actually quite fast away from a standstill and a real fun car to drive. It weighs 450 kilograms, but it's a bit like a miniature double-decker bus. It looks tall, but all the mass is concentrated low down, so the car actually corners much better than it looks like it should. So Renault's laid out a little obstacle course for the Twizy here, and to be fair, the car handles it very well. If I look a little bit busy at the wheel, it's because the Twizy's steering is perhaps a little bit slower than you expect it to be. And that's because it's unassisted. So they have to make it slow to take the weight out of the wheel. But the car picks up really quickly, as you can see. Stops really well. And here you can see the advantage of a 7-metre turning circle. That's a full metre smaller than a Toyota IQ. And that just makes it a little bit easier to negotiate junctions and corners in town, and just makes it a bit more fun to drive, really. Lithium-ion batteries give the Twizy a range of about 60 miles. Unlike an electric scooter, however, it does have regenerative braking, which means it can do up to 70 miles in exclusively urban use. Better still, an 80% charge takes just 3 hours from a regular mains plug, which makes on-street charging a more viable option with the Twizy than it is with many other EVs. So this is the production version of the Twizy. It's certainly small, as you can see, just 2.3 metres long, which makes it 40 centimetres shorter than a Smart 4.2. It's also just a metre wide, so you can thread it through gaps in city traffic. Even though it's small, it's quite practical. There are 2 decent-sized glove boxes at the front for your odds and ends, and at the back there's 2 large storage cubbies, so there's enough room for a laptop case or some shopping just under that rear seat. And talking of rear seats, it's big enough for an adult. I was sitting back there earlier on, and I'm 6'3", so this is a proper 2-seater, not just a 1+1. Renault UK has yet to confirm a final price for the Twizy, but expect it to cost around about £7,000. There'll also be a monthly lease cost for the Twizy's battery, and that should set you back around about £50 a month. Unfortunately, you won't get a government discount for the Twizy because it's classed as a heavy quadricycle and not a proper car. But even without a government discount, this is still a well-priced city car. City cars often just feel like low-rent super minis, but the Twizy's a real breath of fresh air. It's not just a quirky little EV, it's a car with real enthusiast appeal too. And it's all the more appealing and desirable and fit for purpose in the city for being electric.